Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to do the final part of the PTE test, which is the listening module. The listening module is the last part of the test and it is also the longest one. In this particular module, what you need to really focus on is time management. Time management is very important because there are more number of activities for this module compared to the other ones. For speaking, there was 5, for writing there was 2, for reading there was 5 as well, but for listening, there are 8 modules in total, so that's why you need to manage your time properly. Otherwise, you won't be able to attempt some of the activities, which will lead to a loss of a lot of marks. Without much further delay, I will directly jump into the content of the listening module. For listening, you will get an overall time of 30 to 43 minutes, and time management is very crucial. I will explain each activity in detail, just like how I did in my previous videos as well. The first one is summary spoken text. This is very similar to the summarized written text in the writing module. What is different in this activity is, instead of having the passage right on the screen, what will happen here is you will listen to an audio or a video and you will have to summarize that audio or the video in 50 to 70 words and then type it in the response section on the screen. You will get 10 minutes for each summary activity. The audio plays automatically and only once. You can't listen to the audio more than once. So when you first listen to it, make sure you focus on it properly and also make notes while you listen to the video. If doubt in spelling, choose different keywords. Sometimes when you type or write a certain word, we are not really sure how it's spelled. If that happens to you, don't take the chance of getting the spelling wrong. Instead, choose a similar word that means the same thing as the previous word. And because you have to type the answer in your own words, please make sure that the English is consistent, either in American or UK English. This is the template that most people have used as well, and I think it's a pretty good template as well. For me personally, when I did the test and this activity, I used my own words and I didn't really focus on this particular template. But if you really struggle with coming up with your own words while summarizing the spoken text, you can use this template as well. So when you make the short notes, make sure the first important thing is noting down the topic of the lecture, and then the rest you can write 4 to 5 main key points, and then you can elaborate it when you summarize it and then type it. That's all for the summarized spoken text. Now section 2. The first activity from section 2 is MCQ, multiple answers correct. This is just like the one we did in the reading as well. It is a multiple choice question and there are more than one answers correct. So in this activity, read the question first and then listen to the audio, because then you will know what you're looking for in the audio. But because there is no passage on the screen, you can only listen to the audio once. So make sure you listen to the audio properly and also make notes while listening to the audio. Wrong answer has negative marking. Options are paraphrased. Usually 2 answers are correct. If unsure, only choose the one which you are sure about. Because you have to choose more than one answer, if you choose one correct answer and then one wrong answer, you will end up getting 0 marks because wrong answer has negative marking. So that's why I always recommend you to choose only the ones which you're sure about and leave the rest, because at least you will get marks for the correct answer. I don't have an example for this one because I felt it wouldn't really be helpful since I don't know what kind of passages or the audio will be given. So there's no point really showing you an example on it. This one, although it says demo, I can't really make you listen to the audio, but you will see questions like this and there will be 2 to 3 answers correct. The second activity from section 2 is fill in the blanks. What happens in this activity is there will be a passage given on the screen and you will also have to listen to an audio. What you have to do is you will also have to listen to the audio. The passage that is on the screen will have few blanks and you have to fill in that blanks using the audio that you will listen. In the audio, they will give the answers for the blanks as well. So that's why as soon as you hear the answer for the blank, you need to quickly note it down, not type. Don't type immediately. Note it down as soon as you hear the answer and then only type once you're done listening to the audio. Keep eyes on the screen on the passage. Make notes as soon as you hear the word for the blank. While making notes, keep eyes on the screen. Why I say this is, while noting down the answer, don't focus too much on your handwriting or your spelling. Just write down the word, but keep your eyes on the screen because sometimes the blanks are close to each other and if you lose focus, you might lose the answers for the blank as well. I have an example for this.
Climate change is a significant global issue caused by increased levels of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. These gases trap heat, leading to rising temperatures, melting ice caps, and more extreme weather events such as droughts and hurricanes. Human activity activities like burning fossil fuels and deforestation contribute heavily to this problem. Scientists warn that without immediate action, the consequences for future generations could be severe. Solutions include using renewable energy, conserving resources, and reducing carbon emissions.
So yes, similar to this, there will be a passage on the screen and there will be few blanks. The answers for this blank will be in the audio. So that's why you need to listen to the audio properly. As soon as you hear the answer, you need to note it down. When you note it down, again, don't focus on your handwriting or the spelling. Just write down so that you can understand it when you read it later. Please make sure you note down the full spelling. For example, if the word has S at the end, make down you note it as well. Because if you miss out an S from the word, then technically it's the wrong spelling, right? So you lose marks as well. Why I asked you to keep your eyes on the screen even while you're noting down is, right now in this passage the blanks are evenly distributed, but sometimes there can be passages where the blanks are right next to each other, and if you hear the answer for this blank and you look down on your notepad and write the word, you can miss out what the other blank is. So that's why always keep your eyes on the screen. See the first blank, the answer is droughts. So please make sure to write the full spelling and don't miss out the S at the end. Otherwise, it will be a wrong answer. If the blank is at the beginning of the sentence, then make sure to put a capital letter. So that's the only thing that you really have to remember in this activity. I feel like this activity is an activity where you can really score marks. So please do your best. Third activity is highlight correct summary. Just as the name says, you have to highlight the correct summary. You will get to listen to an audio or a video. And what you need to do is you need to select the correct summary of the audio or the video, and there will be some options given. Only one summary out of all the options is correct. Make notes while listening and read the question first and listen to the audio or the video. The fourth activity is MCQ, single answer correct. This is very similar to the activity in the reading module as well. Read question first and then listen to the audio or the video. Understand the context of the lecture. This is very important. Make keyword notes. There is no negative marking. Only one answer is correct and do not leave it unanswered. Unlike the multiple choice question where multiple answers are correct, there is no negative marking, so please don't leave the questions unanswered, because sometimes even if you are not sure about the answer, if you just select one answer, it might be right. So there's a chance that you can get a good score. So that's why please don't leave it unanswered. Again, I don't have an example for this activity because I felt like it wouldn't be of much help. The number 5. Activity number 5 is select missing word. This activity is a really interesting activity and I personally found it really fun to do. What happens in this activity is you will have to listen to an audio or the video, and the very last word of the audio or the video will be a beep, and what you need to do is you need to figure out what the beep word could be. That's why you need to understand the context of the audio or the video, because then you will be able to get what the blank is or the beep is. The options will be very similar to each other. Look at the options before the audio starts. Write down the few last words of the audio. That's what some people do as well. I personally didn't do it. What some people do is, since you can only listen to the audio once, what you could also do is write down the few last words of the audio, so that even if the audio is stopped or even if the audio can't be listened to anymore, you at least know what the last few words were. And then try saying the options after the last words of the audio. Once you have written down the last few words of the audio, you can try putting all the options in the blank and see which one suits the most, and then you'll be able to find the right answer as well. I have an example so that you could understand it better. In the actual test, this text or the passage won't be provided, okay? You will only get to listen to the audio and the options will be given like this, and then you will have to figure out what the blank was. But for this video, I'm just showing you this passage just to explain it better what the activity is.
Every day at the office, Mark faces tight deadlines and an ever-growing to-do list. His manager constantly piles on new tasks without acknowledging the workload he's already juggling. Even during breaks, emails and urgent messages keep pouring in, leaving him no time to breathe. Mark feels extremely under.
So see, the last few words were Mark feels extremely under, beep. Similar to this, in the real test, there will be an audio as well, and the last word will be a beep. So you now have to figure out what the last word could be from the options. That's why you need to understand the entire context. You can't just focus on the last sentence. So what do you think the answer could be in this particular activity? We can see that Mark has a lot of work challenges and he is really burdened with a lot of workload. So you can see that Mark feels extremely under. You obviously know that it's not water. Or Mark feels extremely under table, no. Mark feels extremely under the weather. Under the weather means he is a little sick, right? But I don't think that's the correct one in this context. Or Mark feels extremely under pressure. So yes, pressure is the right answer, right? Because Mark has a lot of work and tight deadlines, and the manager isn't really acknowledging the workload that Mark is feeling. So you can see that Mark feels extremely under pressure. So yeah, this is the activity that will be in the test, not this exact same activity, and there will be no passage given. You will just get to listen to the audio and the options. Moving on to the next activity, activity number 6 is highlight incorrect words. This is also one of the activities that I really enjoyed. In this activity, what will happen is there will be a passage given on the screen, and you will also have to listen to an audio. The audio is exactly the same thing as the passage. What's different about the passage and the audio is the passage has few incorrect words that does not match the audio. So what you have to do is you have to highlight or select all the incorrect words that did not match the audio. Remember, if you select a wrong word, there is a negative marking. Follow the audio with the words with your mouse cursor. So whenever you are reading, put your mouse cursor on the word and follow word by word so that you don't miss out on the incorrect words. Highlight incorrect words at the same time as the audio plays. What I personally did is I read few words ahead of the audio so that when they say the wrong word, I can catch the incorrect words from the passage. That's just what I did. I'm not saying you have to do it. For this activity as well, there is an example, and I think you will be able to get what I mean once I explain the example. So see, in this activity, you will get an audio and there will also be a passage on the screen.
You know, I was thinking today how much easier life is with technology. Like, imagine doing research without the internet. Seriously, even just staying in touch with family or working remotely wouldn't be possible without it. And it's not just convenience. Technology helps in education, medicine, even protecting the environment. It's become such a huge part of how we grow and solve problems as a society.
So see, in this passage you saw that there were 4 incorrect words and it was highlighted in red. The correct word that was mentioned in the audio was, first was research, this was touch, this was education, and this was society, right? The words are pretty similar to the one in the audio in terms of meaning and how they sound. That's why you need to really focus your eyes and ears on the screen so that you don't miss out the incorrect words. So if you select a different word that was in the audio and you get it wrong, you will get a negative marking. So please be careful. Now the final activity is writing from dictation. This activity, write from dictation, is also very similar to the activity in the speaking module, which was repeat the sentence. In repeat the sentence activity in the speaking module, what you had to do was you had to repeat exactly what you heard, right? But in this activity, you have to type exactly what you heard. So it's just the same thing, except earlier you had to speak, now you have to write. Close eyes and listen to the audio. That's what I personally did because I feel like keeping my eyes open would distract me, but that depends from person to person. Some people feel like keeping their eyes closed distracts them. So that solely depends on what you are comfortable with. Immediately repeat the words and start typing after the audio stops. What I did is, as soon as the audio stopped, I kept on repeating the words so that I don't forget it. And that's how I feel like it helps retain the information as well. Proofread to check spelling or grammar. When you are typing it, don't really worry about the spelling or the grammar. But once you're done typing, then go back and then correct it. Because if you check the spelling or the grammar while you are still typing, then there is a chance that you might forget what you heard. So that's why, just to avoid that, you just type whatever you heard and then proofread at the end. There are no deduction for extra words, so you don't really have to worry about it even if you add extra words of your own. One tip, what most people use is writing only the first initials of the word. When I did this activity, I did not take notes or write the first initial letters because I thought I would forget it if I do that. But it again depends on what you are comfortable with. I have an example for this activity as well. And the audio is,
The library is located in the next building in level 2.
so as soon as I hear the audio, my mind goes, the library is located in the next building in level 2. The library is located in the next building in level 2. I keep on repeating it so that I don't forget it, and then I quickly type it. But I don't worry about the spelling right now. Once I am done typing, then I proofread it so that I can check whether the spellings are right or not. This activity has a lot of marks, and it is the last activity for the entire PTE test. I feel like the people from PTE put this particular activity at the very end because they know that it has a lot of marks. And people who don't manage time properly will miss out on attempting this particular activity and then they will lose marks. And what happens when applicants are not able to do this activity and lose a lot of marks? They will have to do the PTE test again. And when they do the PTE test again, who gets more money? The PTE test organizers. So that's why it's a really good trick from them to keep this activity at the very end, because they know that some people will not manage time properly and they will miss out on this particular activity which has high marks. So please manage your time properly when you do the entire listening module. Most of the activities in this module will really get you good marks if you really focus well. And I found listening module to be my favorite module as well. With this, I'm finally done with all the modules of the PTE test. I hope my videos have helped you in the smallest ways possible. So far, I did the speaking module, the writing module, the reading module, and today I'm doing the listening module. So all these 4 videos are uploaded already, and please help yourself and also help me by watching this video. Thank you so much everyone for all your support. In the next video, which I will upload in the next few days, I'll be talking about all the changes that will happen in PTE after the 7th of August. I have made some notes and I have done some research as well. So I will share you the details and the information in the next coming days. Thank you all for being so patient and supportive. Please keep supporting because that encourages me to keep going and growing. So let's grow together. Thank you so much and see you next time. Bye.